going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner.
Man, I'm confident in our offense.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Barron. Make sure to like and subscribe out there on YouTube as we are on our race to 4,000 subscribers, and rate the show 5 stars out there on Apple Podcast. If you haven't done so, what are you doing? Because you just have to rate 5 stars. You can just click the link down in the description. Rate 5 stars, and you're instantly in the running for a Darnell Wright jersey once we reach the magic number of 58. But today, we're going to be breaking down the Kansas City Chiefs team and just the game overall as a whole. But first, we have to talk about the craziness that happened yesterday with the Chicago Bears. Just breaking down what literally seemed to be the craziest day that I can remember, not just for the Bears, but for any organization in the NFL. But PayPal, like, obviously there were so many things that went on. How are you doing? How do you feel right now with all the craziness?
Yeah. I was talking to one of my friends, after work. I had to we just had to vent, basically, like, what the heck is going on here? Like, and do we like what's going on? Like, yeah, there's obviously we talk about Packers fans in the workplace, living in Wisconsin, but it's like, hey, like, yeah, what's going on? Like, it seems like negative stuff from an outside, perspective, but this stuff could be kind of positive to this team. So, I at first I was like, holy crap, but also now I'm kind of like excited for the future now.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Ron's out there in the comments too. So you already know it's going to be a good day out here. But yeah, Hallis Hall of Drama, Ron's calling it. And I love that because that really does kind of perfectly sum up what happened yesterday. So obviously we're talking about Alan Williams, the Alan Williams resigning, then the rumors around him, Braxton Jones going on IR, also then Luke Getsy, Justin Fields. Did he just say something bad about his coaching staff and everything just kind of going crazy? Jasky saying wouldn't expect anything different. And yeah, just the Bears overall, it was nuts yesterday. It was absolutely crazy. So let's actually just get started with Alan Williams, right? Alan Williams resigns. There were so many rumors out there, and I just want to kind of get the rumors out of it. And just so we can start talking about the defense, because we talked about it before that we didn't know what was going on. Not a lot of people know what's going on. And I think we continue to not know what's going on because they said it's health and family related. His lawyer put out a statement saying that all these things were basically false and fabricated, all the rumors that were going around about Hallis Hall being raided. And right now, we have to believe in that, and we have to stick to it. And I think the biggest thing in all of this that I encourage everyone that's listening, whether you're a fan of the show or not, just if all this stuff is dismissed, don't let it taint your view on Alan Williams. I hope that if all this stuff blows over, and if it is in fact him needing to talk to his family or having a health something with his health, I hope that it blows over and he's able to get a job. But obviously, if the serious allegations are true, then that's another story. And
he seems like a great guy from the outside. I think whenever we've seen him in press conferences, I'm like, this guy just seems like a respectable man.
That's what even people that know
all this stuff is kind of because if he's he seems like such a respectable guy. Like if it would tarnish my view on society of like, I can't trust anyone now,
Well, that's what some people were saying. They're like, he's a good dude. They're like, I would trust him with my finances. I trust him with my kids, and I trust him with everything, right? Like, And so that's where I think overall, though, we just have to see what happens. We have to see what comes out. But let's actually talk about the defense, because you talked about being excited and happy. I'm right there with you, PayPal. I actually think that this is a huge blessing for the Bears because personally, I had so many questions about Alan Williams. Now he's gone. And it was the question of, I felt like at the end of the year, we would have been going, well, is it does Eberflus have to take over? It seemed like an inevitability that Flus was going to take over defensive play calling because you kind of assumed the defense would look the same. Now it's Flus's defense. I'm excited because we at least got some pressure. And even Tyreek Stevenson was saying he kind of sees it as a plus as well.
Yeah, yeah, we've seen the one game sample size, but we've seen the difference. Like I think the defense has been playing with a little bit more energy. Obviously, the offense really hasn't been giving them that same you know, they're not reciprocating it as much, but it's like you saw it. Like, sure, we let up like 400 yards total offense or something crazy like that, but at least the defense stood, you know, they really held their ground and didn't let up as many touchdowns, honestly, as you thought they would have with how many yards they gave up. Um, yeah, we can talk about more about the defense, but it's like the third downs is kind of the thing I'm looking for this defense.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And just having the coaching staff, a new look coach, I'm
Hmm.
excited about it, and I'm excited to see what this defense has to offer. And also, Tyreek Stevenson mentioned he's excited to shock the world on Sunday, so
Oh,
that the Bears, yeah, he's all pumped, and he kind of said it like it is. He's like, it's not really a loss, like they're used to Matt Eberflus, and it makes
yeah.
sense. So I'm seeing it as a net positive. Now, PayPal, do you think that the Bears would get a defensive consultant or bring in anybody?
Yeah, no way. I think you know, I don't think there's a chance really that we do that. I think Eberflus has that mindset of he can do both. I mean, we see two teams in the NFL, at least that I can think of. I know the Bills do it. They, they got rid of their defensive coordinator and they just have their head coach coaching defense. Same with there's a few other teams that also have that. So I don't think it's a abnormal thing to have your head coach coaching the defense. I think, maybe if they're coaching the offense, because that might be more tall of a task. I mean, with how this offense has been behaving, but defense with Eberflus, with his experience, I think that's kind of a. I don't think he's thinking that as like a crazy, like, oh, he's gonna be overwhelmed at all. And with that, I guess is I think it helps having Luke Getsy. Obviously, say we're not confident in this offense yet, but I think Luke Getsy, he's a very mature coach, as I at least I've seen in my eyes. So I think that helps kind of Eberflus be like, hey, yeah, you got the offense, I'll get this defense, and maybe he's not going to help the offense as much, and just get let Luke Getsy just kind of do his thing.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with you on that. I like the idea of bringing in maybe a Rod Marinelli or
Hmm.
or someone that he's worked with in the past. Chuck Pagano, I know that though, like Rod Marinelli, he's very tight with him. I would love to see him as kind of just like a defensive consultant, if you will, come in, or like Leslie Frazier. Leslie Frazier wanted to take the year off and just kind of relax and say, hey, what if we bring you in as a consultant and just have you work with the team? And I think that would be great to have
Yeah.
Leslie Frazier, because let's say Matt Eberflus doesn't do so hot the end of the year. Leslie Frazier was somebody that we were looking at for a head coaching gig around the Matt Eberflus time. So I think
Hmm.
that it would be good to at least bring him in as a potential candidate to have as a potential head coach, but someone just to assist with the defense and make sure that the defense is firing on all cylinders. But
Yeah.
let's continue on to the injury report. So there's obviously a lot of craziness that we're going to be going into. So when we talk about the injuries, I think it's headlined. It's not even on the injury report, but it's headlined with Braxton Jones going on IR. Now, Braxton Jones goes on IR. It was asked who's going to be playing left tackle, and it seems like they haven't ruled out Darnell Wright switching over to left tackle. I guess, PayPal, what do you think they're going to roll out with, and what do you hope they roll out with the offensive line on Sunday?
Yeah, I think starting out right tackle. I mean, you can't do that to a rookie tackle. They're already going through the changes of being a rookie, and learning all this new offense and everything, facing against bigger, stronger guys. So I think it would be kind of a no-brainer for this offensive line to be like, hey, like have Larry Borum. He has the experience. We've seen him play both sides, especially in this preseason. I mean, he was playing well, both sides, and put him over to this left tackle. Do not have Darnell Wright change anything because he's looking pretty well at that right tackle spot. You just don't want to mess up anything with him.
100% agree. Like Braxton Jones, he's going to be your left tackle of the future. You kind of feel like he's going to be there. And the only way that you would not have him as the left tackle of the future is if you drafted someone better and you shifted Braxton to guard, right? We talked about this before where he's going to be your left tackle. He's going to play left tackle. Don't mess it up. Don't change it. And I think he was just saying, well, we'll see, because he's probably got a million other things on his mind. I don't think he actually meant it by any point. But also I like what Jayski said where, like with Flus, with him coordinating, leaves him with no excuses at the very end. I do like it. And also Ron said, hire Mike Singletary, LOL.
Hey, hire Mike Singletary, bring in like Dick Butkus or something, bring in some of these, 85 Bears to give him some, be like just call them out. Yeah, call out the defense or call out, be like, you guys are not playing with passion or fire. But yeah, with the left tackle too, I know people have been floating around. I don't know if your thoughts on this, Brad, but I know people have been saying, oh, maybe we'll hire, get a new tackle, new guard. Honestly, I'm kind of sick of signing new guys and bringing in new bodies. I think we just need consistency. So just elevate someone from the practice squad, and keep this team consistent. I just think it would be way too much to be like, hey, here's another left tackle, and then try to get them prepared, and then they're not going to look good because it's like they haven't played in this offense, and Justin Fields doesn't know them, and I just want consistency, and I think bringing a new guy would be bad for the team.
The only one I would think about is Lyle Collins. I think Lyle Collins, but also if Braxton Jones's neck injury is more serious. Anytime you hear neck, it's like, how serious is this going to be? It seems like every report says that it's probably not that serious. But to me, as a non-medical professional, when I hear neck injury, I get nervous about that. So like what's wrong? I think of a Chris Williams situation where it's like neck and back and you can't move. So if it is serious, go with Lyle Collins. Now, it's funny you also talked about the adding someone. The reason why the Bears also released Nathan Peterman, not a lot of people know this. Courtney Cronin of ESPN tweeted this out. The reason why they did it was they were going to sign someone off of someone else's practice squad, but they said those plans ended up falling through, so then they just brought Nathan Peterman back. So, and I think Peterman knows that he's the guy that if they need to get rid of someone, he's the guy that's going to be released. Like, he understands his role. He is a backup coach. He's not even the quarterback.
That's a great role to be in. You don't have to play. You get just paid millions, and you just kind of chill with the boys.
I don't know why, but like part of me just pictured with all the stuff going on with Getsy and with Justin Fields, where it's like, yeah, I'm in my head and it's the coaching and everything. Then they just look at Peterman and they're like, it's you in the QB room. Get out of here. They just fire him and you're back now. So he is back, but that's actually that is the legit reason why he was released and then brought back, was they were expecting they were going to sign someone else, bring them in as the offensive lineman off of someone's practice squad, not just Avian Collins. So Collins is now in, which terrifies me. So yeah, I agree. I think Braxton Jones, left tackle, with having Darnell Wright at right, it just makes too much sense. But let's actually talk about the injury report where Blackwell, it should be able to play with. He was a full participant. Nate Davis was out for a personal reason today, but was a full participant on Wednesday. He should be there unless something else happens. Eddie Jackson, two consecutive days of not participating in practice due to that foot injury. Mercedes Lewis takes his old man rest day, and Khalid Kareem limited. Darnell Mooney limited with a knee injury. PayPal, anything jump off of this for you?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is for Eddie Jackson. I really hope he can play this game. Um, Not like it was super dramatic, but I really think you can tell when he's not out there of Elijah Hicks. He just missed too many tackles and just wasn't making those plays that Eddie Jackson would be doing, like really putting his nose into the ball. Elijah Hicks just almost looked nervous sometimes for me last game, where it's like, hey, we saw Eddie Jackson just tackle not Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, against
Yeah.
the Packers, and he didn't hesitate. He just tackled him full body. It wasn't like a leg, a chop or anything. He just tackled him full body. So I think that's something that Eddie Jackson just brings, and honestly, he elevates Brisker because they are the dynamic duo. So
Yeah.
it'd be great to see if he plays out there. And like, honestly, I think it's important that he does. This is kind of the turning point for the Bears. This is kind of their game to kind of prove, hey, like everyone's turning their backs on them, including, Bears media. It's like, hey, let's prove that we can, beat these Super Bowl, ex Super Bowl champs. So I think it's huge that Eddie Jackson does play this game.
Yeah, I agree too. And something his buddy Jaquan Brisker, it's nice to see him not on the injury report. Now he was
Yeah.
dehydrated, but he's been on the injury report for what seems like every single game since for this year with the preseason and regular season. And Darnell Mooney should play with that knee injury, but we'll just have to see how he looks with running. Maybe he's just a step slow, but Chase Claypool, we need you for this one again, man. So please come out and ball. But let's actually go to the other side and start looking at the Kansas City Chiefs injury report, which is pretty big. Nick Bolton, their linebacker, did not participate on Wednesday and Thursday, so might not play. Richie James, the wide receiver, did not participate today and yesterday. Willie Gay Jr. was limited today, but did not play the day before. Isaiah Pacheco, hamstring injury, limited today. Kadarius Toney did not participate in practice
No.
Thursday and Wednesday. Honestly, I'm kind of low-key scared of him because knowing us, if we let up a big play, that's what he does, right? So
Yeah.
it looks like they'll be down a couple wide receivers and maybe a couple or one linebacker, but we know the Chiefs aren't just about their wide receivers. Anything really stand out to you with this?
Yeah, I think Kadarius Toney, yeah, it sounds like he probably won't play. I mean, toe injuries. One thing I've just learned with NFL is toe injuries are just gruesome. It seems like whenever someone gets a toe
Yeah.
injury, they're out for the year or like they're out for like 5 games just for a toe. But I mean, it makes sense. That's where you're
Yeah.
putting all your pressure, all that. But Nick Bolton, I think that'd be a key
Yeah.
injury that he is out because he has been showing a lot. Like he showed a lot, honestly, in the Super Bowl on the biggest stage. He is their number one linebacker, and he can play the run really well. He's got great tackling ability, but he's also got some speed too. So he's looked really good in my eyes. So it'd be huge if he didn't play.
I think about too, even like with Willie Gay, you're talking about two good linebackers with some decent speed out there. And
Mhm.
yeah, both might not play. Willie Gay might play, but still, yeah, if they're down two linebackers and maybe the Bears start running it, we'll start talking about the offense next. But I think that is a big thing to be looking out for with that
Yeah.
injury report is really what's going to happen with their defense.
Hey, yeah, I mean, Chris Jones and Travis Kelce are back, so that's kind of the kicker. The two stars on the team, almost people have been comparing the Chiefs to the Bulls. I don't know why, but it's like MJ is Patrick Mahomes, Dennis Rodman is like Chris Jones, and then Scottie Pippen is Travis Kelce.
I mean, they like legit. This comparison I've heard or seen that anyone's ever made because you're literally talking about the best quarterback in the league by far,
Yeah,
and then you're talking about the best tight end in the league, And then you're talking about the best defensive tackle in the league right now. So I don't mind that. It's not Rodgers talking about him and Devontae, right? It's these guys that have actually done it and won championships and gone to these places. So yeah, but let's actually break down this offense because this is the new look. We talked that Justin Fields, he said some things that a lot of people took as kind of a dig at the coaching staff. Now, if you read through it legitimately and you cut off some words, it looks like he does deliberately attack the coaching staff. But when you actually read the full thing, I think that it was kind of taken out of context, but I think he did mean a portion of it where it just seemed like it kind of overflowed and he kind of called it out. And then you see Luke Getsy and Justin Fields hugging it out on the field. That's actually the thumbnail for this video out there. You see them hugging it out. PayPal, what do you think of this offense? What is this new offense going to look like? Are the Bears back? What's going to happen with this offense?
See, and this is why any team I played with, like in high school, whatever, college, and sports, it's when adversity hits you, how you deal with it can transform your team. You know, it really does because you grow with them. And I think having this adversity for, the coaching staff and then especially Justin Fields, like, I think that's his breaking point of like, hey, now I can kind of, do my own thing, but also kind of use what Luke Getsy has been kind of teaching me. And I think now they have been an open, they've been saying that they have an open conversations all the time, but now I really think they're going to have open conversations. Justin Fields is going to have more control of this offense and do what he wants instead of what the coaches want. So I'm ready to see a lot more just him throwing it deep, him really giving his receivers a shot, because that's what we saw in college was him throwing it deep, kind of making those big plays, and Luke Getsy's offense kind of limits that sometimes.
Yeah, my take on this is a mixture of both, because it's kind of like what we talked about last episode with the blame game that we said. Both Luke Getsy and Justin Fields deserve blame for this offense. I've seen people on Twitter, which is just full of smart people, where Twitter was saying like, this offense is now going to be automatically fixed. Now, if you believe that, I wish I could believe that much. Yeah. I think it's going to look better. I think that I agree with you. I think what just happened is great because it helps the relationship of Luke Getsy and Justin Fields. And I think it's what I kind of see this as is if you've ever been in a relationship, and sometimes like I know with my wife, we had like when we were dating, we had like a big fight. And then we were actually better because of the fight, because it like kind of brought things out, and it was our first fight. It was our first thing, and we worked it out, obviously, because I'm married to her. But it made you feel like, oh, I never knew that you felt this way. Because when you first start dating someone, everything is like, yeah, okay. And I feel like Justin Fields, anytime Luke Getsy's saying, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, he's like, yeah, okay. I can do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. But what's going on was he was overwhelmed, and you can see it whenever he drops back. So if I'm Luke Getsy, what I'm doing right now as a leader, and for anybody that's listened, this is a good leadership advice. This is good relationship advice. If you're Luke Getsy, you know that Justin Fields is overwhelmed by all these things. You put too much on him. He's overthinking things too much. Tell him to do one thing, because it's a tried and true thing. Yes, there's many things that happen in football, but just have him focus on one thing. Be like, hey, so you said that you're robotic. Let's fix that. Let's work on that. How can we do that? Let's speed up your processing. Let's focus this week on getting the ball out faster. And let's focus on that. And you make that the main focus so that he can really work on that. Because if he has all these things, think about it. If your wife, your husband, your whatever tells you, hey, pal, you need to clean the dishes, but also you have to take the garbage out and you have to mow the lawn better. The lawn looks bad, right? You're not
Yeah.
as inclined to do that first thing. Focus on one thing and get it done. And I think by also making it simpler, making it easier, don't try to go all, this isn't Aaron Rodgers, Getsy. Don't try and treat him like Aaron Rodgers. Simplify it. If you've ever seen the quarterback school or the other things like that on YouTube, there's easy ways and there's difficult ways to describe something. Don't describe a play as, well, if they're playing cover 2 or if they're trying to do a zone coverage with, a cover 3 or a man-to-man, like, don't be trying to throw them off. Be like, if that guy's covered, throw it to that guy. Like, dumb it down, simplify it so that he can just focus on getting the ball out. And yes, eventually he needs to learn how to do that. But right now, the dude needs confidence and just to realize that he has a wicked good arm. He can throw it. He can take the league by storm. Just don't let him overthink. Very long rant, so I'm sorry about that, but I just don't want him to be, I feel like it's going to take some time. I think that they're going to look better, but I think that this is good for their relationship so that Justin Fields, you can really, really focus on just baby steps with them to really get him back on track. Start with the release, getting things out quicker, throwing with, just get it out quicker. Making quick decisions, easy decisions, have him not overthink. So,
do your first or second read. It seems like he was learning to like almost do all of his reads, then throw. It's like, just do, if that first read is open, just throw it. If that's first read is not open, second read, just start your second one. Don't think of that hard, and I honestly, I don't know if we're done talking about Justin Fields, but I really think this wide receiver core, we always just talk about him. It's like some of these guys needs to help him. And I really think Cole Kmet out of all of them, I think is kind of the biggest one that he can always throw to. Like, it's a big body guy. He's got good hands. Like, just throw it his way. And if it is a contested catch, like he'll be able to make it not a pick. You know what I mean? Like he won't make it it's not going to be a risky throw throwing it to your tight end. So just throw it to the tight end. He's going to just, what he's going to do. He's not running against he's going to be against linebackers who just have worse ball hawk ability. So I really think throwing it to Cole Kmet would just be a great, like, non-risky throw that could bring his confidence up and be like, hey, all right, now I'm cooking and just kind of simplify the game a little bit. I mean, we see it with freaking Patrick Mahomes just throwing his tight end all the dang time.
Yeah, I think the big thing is make the easy throws. I see Ron out there saying, throw more to DJ Moore. Make those easy. When you talk about making easy plays, right? I know people are going to hate this. What about Trubisky's offense? Trubisky's offense was look at Allen Robinson. If he's open, throw it to him. If not, you run it. Or you throw it to the running back, right? Look at DJ Moore first. Make DJ Moore the first option. Why? He's usually open. So why not have him be the first option? Because you can just be like, all right, DJ's going to be open on this. Look at him. Throw it to him if he's open. Otherwise, look at Kmet, right? Simple, easy, simple stuff like that. And and also too, Cole Kmet, I heard some people slander Cole Kmet and be like, here's the tight end we paid all this money for. I tweeted this out. He's 6 in the NFL in receiving yards amongst tight ends.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
In a bad receiving group of a bad passing game, he's number 6 in the NFL amongst tight ends. So he's not being that bad. And you see the ratings on the screen with PFF. He's 21st, which it's a rating, but still he's a good tight end in the NFL. And what I'm looking for, though, is the interior. Nate Davis is back. Obviously, what people were saying is that he had a death in the family. He's coping with that. Hopefully he comes back and he's all ready to go. And maybe, and that's where I don't see him up close and personal. Hopefully, physically, he's ready to go. because he did not look like the same Nate Davis. We talked about that after the week 1 loss to the Packers. It did not look like the same Nate Davis. So hopefully he's ready to go mentally, physically, with everything. Otherwise, put Ja'Tyre Carter in. Yes, they're going against Jones, but if Davis is not ready, you saw what happens when he's not ready going against the Packers. But yeah, I'm nervous right up the middle because you're talking about the best defensive tackle out there in Chris Jones
Yeah.
going against Lucas Patrick, who, wait, do I see this correctly?
Yeah, I
Ranked
think so, Brad.
the worst center in all of the NFL according to PFF.
Why can't we get this right? Why can't we get a good center?
Seriously, like he's not looking good. It's crazy. This is slanderous, but this just shows how bad Lucas Patrick's been. I take Musty over him. I know that that's
Yeah.
terrible. I know that that's terrible. Patrick has been terrible, and he hasn't been good. So to me, dude, you could upgrade that center so many other spots and just make it better. Yeah. So I think to me, I'm nervous about this up the middle, but also the defensive ends. Just previewing it, they have Carl Loftus, and then they also have Mike Dana. Carl Loftus has been playing a little bit better after being a first-round pick last season from the Boilermakers. Has very good use of hands, but also the guy to look out for. This guy was one of our favorites coming out of the NFL draft last year, this year. Felix Anudike-Uzomah. He is going to be coming in on passing downs. He's been looking pretty good. 71.1 grade for PFF. 39th overall edge defender. Has been pretty good as a rookie. So look for him to come in on the passing downs. Literally last week, 100% of his snaps he was in for passing downs. He'll be in there on third down. Definitely someone to look out for. Probably going against a Larry Borum early and often.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I think Darnell Wright, he's kind of proven that he has been good. So him against Karlaftis, not as worried as that Chris Jones matchup that we mentioned earlier. But yeah, I think Ron had a great. I almost forgot about this too because there's just been so much Bears news. Like this would be like a top thing if it wasn't all this other stuff. But yeah, I think it was Devin White basically was talking to DJ Moore after the game and was like, "Hey, like I want to tackle you, dude. Like they're just not using you right, like they're not using you right. Like you're a gadget. I think he called him like a gadget man or something. But it's unfortunate that even other teams are like, hey, like they're not using you right. And it's like you think our team would be able to kind of see that ourselves. And I think they do. I think we saw the increase in kind of targets to DJ Moore. And now I'm thinking this third week, like you were saying, kind of increase those reps a little bit more because it's only good things happen when you throw it to him so far.
Yeah, and hey, he said that after he broke 100 yards. So it's clear that it's you got to do more. You got to include him more out there on the defense, and I think or on the offense. And I think about it too. Someone who we haven't talked about, Trent McDuffie, the Washington corner, plays a lot in the slot, also a little bit on the outside. He's had a very, very good year this year. Very good corner, and also low key. I still believe that the Bears thought that this was the guy that they were drafting, not Kyler Gordon, because he was the other corner out of Washington, and they played similar, but Trent McDuffie to me was far more impressive than Kyler Gordon, and Trent McDuffie has been very good this season. Definitely someone to watch out for. But PayPal, let's kind of wrap up this offense. We've been talking a lot about it with the new display, like the new offense that we might see. Because will they actually, before we get into wrapping it up, will we run the ball more with Justin Fields?
Gosh, I hope so. It's hard because I think we said that he's just not running as much. I think there has been times when there has been RPOs or read options, and everyone in the league now is just taught to be, hey, don't let Justin Fields get out of the pocket. Don't let him, if you see the read option, stay and choose the quarterback. Don't choose the running back. So I always think read options are awesome just because it frees up that one defender, and you can do it to, George Karlaftis, like one of their, he's the better D lineman on this team. So do it to a guy like that, take him out of the play, and just let Khalil Herbert. He's been cooking.
Yeah.
Same with Roshan Johnson. I mean, you can't miss with our running backs. So I don't know, Brad, if you think he's gonna if Justin Fields will get more involved in this run offense, but I couldn't see them really calling designed runs like they almost like the Saints with Taysom Hill. Like I couldn't see them just doing like a wildcat, like direct snap, and he runs it like they do.
I think that they need to start getting back to, I actually, couple things. The running game will be interesting without Braxton Jones, because when
True.
Braxton Jones is on that left-hand side, now I know that Braxton Jones was getting a lot of hate because of the false starts, the holding. I don't know when he turned into Charles Leno with the amount of penalties that he was committing, but this year he was Charles Leno for a little bit. But still, unlike Charles Leno, he is a bulldozer in the running game. And when him and Tevin Jenkins are both out there, this running game gets cooking. And we still want to see that on the left-hand side. Larry Borum hasn't been a great run blocker, was a lot better this preseason, but definitely something to look out for. So I'm curious if this running game is going to get going. I do think they need to stick with it and really, really kind of hone in on that, because that's the identity. Ron talking about Roshan. Yeah, like having that angry runner, having those different styles, I think is huge. Roshan is going to lay the lumber, pop you in the face, and then you get the quicker, the speedier running back in a Khalil Herbert who's just going to glide right off of you. That is very difficult. And the Chiefs offense does this all the time with Pacheco. Pacheco's an angry runner, but down the field, they're more finesse. They're more quick. They're more try to beat you with speed, and you get popped in the face, and then you get tired. You get popped in the face, then you get tired. That's what I think that the Bears need to really try and hone in with this offense. But let's go over to our X factors to wrap this up. So our X factors, who is the person that really needs to step up and really can be that person that makes or breaks this offense on Sunday?
Yeah. It seems just stupid. I hate saying it every time, but it's Justin Fields. I really think this week. I don't think I've said
Yeah.
to him at all this year, but I think Justin Fields is the guy that we're all going to be watching extra. Really extra this week, and just see how comfortable he looks with this offense. I think right as we see he's not comfortable, we'll be kind of almost. I'll be kind of pointing fingers like, hey, like, what is Luke Getsy doing? I really, it was a great sign, honestly, seeing him and Luke Getsy hug it out, like seeing that kind of Justin Fields is happy, like I feel like
Yeah.
we haven't seen that. And honestly, that's something I'll be looking for. Is Justin Fields happy? Is he having fun out there? Cause I think that we'll see that, is he just kind of being loose and throwing it to DJ Moore and getting touchdowns? Like 1 + 2 = 6.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Like for real, like I said, it is that relationship first fight. You get everything
It
out, and
really
you're
is.
just like, this oddly feels great. Where in the moment, and for those that first fight wasn't good, probably not with them anymore. Like, because now they know, now they can joke around, now they understand what they like, what they don't like. So hopefully that went very well for them. But yeah, my X factor, I was going to give it to Justin Fields, so don't worry, you're not alone with that. So I have to go different. I'm going Nate Davis, because when I see this offensive line, Nate Davis did not look good week 1. Nate Davis needs to come back and look good. And you're going against Chris Jones, the best defensive tackle in the league. After 1 week, he reclaimed his number 1 PFF grade for defensive
Mhm.
players. So Chris Jones is going to be a man on a mission. He's going to be going crazy. And the big reason why he's so important is Cody Whitehair, like, he looks old out there. And Lucas Patrick can help out Cody Whitehair. That means one person's going to be singled up against someone else. And Nadi can have his up and down games at defensive tackle. I really do think that Nate Davis needs to hone in and look good, because also to get this running game going. Whitehair hasn't been great. Borum, he is the backup swing tackle. You need that right side to be solid and really hold it together. Darnell Wright has looked good as a rookie. So Nate Davis, his calling card is the zone running game. So hopefully he can get going, not just in the passing game, but in the running game so that we can have a lane on the right-hand side with the football. So also, too, if you're able to, and like with some of the bootlegs, too, if Fields is rolling out to the right, you really want to make sure that Davis does have his guy in those situations. So let's flip over to the defensive side of the football. Obviously, this is the Flus-led defense going against one of the biggest offenses, but this offense has not scored over 21 points. That is the Kansas City offense. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. They don't seem to be clicking on all cylinders. Maybe they do that against the Bears. We talked a little bit about this. Matt Eberflus is now in charge of the defense. PayPal, what changes with this in your mind? Does anything really change? Do we expect this defense to be better? What's your feeling?
Hey, I honestly think this is kind of the defense, right? If I'm thinking this right, this is kind of the defense that kind of made their mark is once when the Chiefs were looking super good, when they had Tyreek Hill and it was like they just constantly would throw the ball deep. It was like, what do we do? And then this cover two defense, started, this Eberflus kind of led defense was kind of the one thing people started doing because it's like preventing people from throwing it deep. So I think this is what this defense is kind of made for, and I think we'll kind of hopefully see uh why maybe it can potentially stop Mahomes. So it's gonna force them to throw it closer and kind of work for their yards, which I like because heck, a lot of these receivers like Valdez Scantling, like he's just a deep ball guy. Like he's
Yeah.
not gonna someone that's gonna be beating you with the crazy route runners. Sky Moore, like he's shifty, but I don't think he's really assertive himself as like a really good route runner yet. Like he's good after the catch, but he's not really a route runner. So I think this defense is gonna hopefully. I think it's a good scheme fit to this Kansas City offense.
And this entire offense, it is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Right now, it's Mahomes doing Mahomes things. Kelsey didn't look fully healthy last week. So another week kind of nursing back his knee injury. He should be looking a lot better. But also, PayPal, this offense has looked very poor against zone coverage in particular. They like man-to-man, and you talked about it with the cover two. Cover two is better suited for those deeper passes that they like to run. So it seems like schematically, Bears have an advantage. But the big question is going to be getting that pass rush going. The offensive tackles for the Chiefs have not looked too great, with Donovan Smith as their new starting left tackle and Juwan Taylor, their new starting right tackle. Both of them have not looked too great this year. So for me, I'm looking at Unique Ngakoue, where he missed, 2 sacks last week?
Yeah,
and
two key sacks.
Yeah, and Ron called this out too. I was looking at the tape, I was rewatching it, and the amount of times that the Bears could have taken the quarterback down but didn't was crazy. Actually, in particular, Unique Ngakoue just missed so many tackles. I'm curious what his PFF grade would have been if he actually made those tackles, because there was a handful on the running game, in the passing game, that he just seemed to miss. So I'm looking at him to have a big game, and I kind of like this because it's the opposite. Trey Smith, good guard. Joe Thuney, good left guard. And then also Creed Humphrey, possibly the best center in the NFL. So the interior, it's the opposite. The interior is insane, which is also where we're kind of weak. So, I mean, at the defensive end spot, we're also kind of weak. But that's where I really think that we can match up well, and hopefully Ngakoue, he's not going to be going against these amazing tackles now. He's going against someone a little lower down in a Donovan Smith. I think that he could potentially get the best of him, maybe get a sack or two this week. But PayPal, You were talking a little bit about the wide receivers. How are you feeling with these corners? Because Greg Stroman Jr. Might not be playing, and instead we got Blackwell in. Or who do you think is actually going to be starting?
Okay, literally, I was gonna bring that up during like the injuries of like Strowman can play. You
Yeah.
know, like
Oh, yeah.
I'm fine with him playing, honestly. Like something I was so shocked with. I knew from previous preseasons, like I knew he was a good coverage guy, but man, like he was playing with that physicality that like Kyler Gordon was kind of, that we thought Kyler Gordon was the only corner that could really play with that physicality and stuff the run or really get his head in the, just get his head in there and tackle running back. So Greg Stroman, like whether it's Blackwell or Stroman, like I think Stroman honestly earned his spot to play at slot corner again this week. Um, does that mean that they wouldn't elevate Blackwell? I don't think so. I think we saw how much it hurt our special teams last week, not having Blackwell out there. So we'll see if we have the roster for it. But like, I know Jalen Johnson, he's just one of those guys we just never hear about. And Brad, I feel like you almost want to talk about this guy, Tyreek Stevenson. He did say he's up to big things. So I don't know what your thoughts are on him. Like PFF apparently doesn't like him. Uh, I guess
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that we didn't really see a big play from him last week. He's kind of that playmaker, and we didn't really see many great things from him.
I think Tyreek Stevenson, it's who we thought he was, right? He is going to have up games, he's going to have down games. And I know the reason why he's rate 48.5, 86 out of 98 corners is because they did not like his performance last week. I believe it was because of the tackling performance that he had. Yeah, and also they didn't necessarily love his coverage. But he's going to have up
Yeah.
games, he's going to have down games. I think maybe this week he could then have one of those up games. But I agree with you because I'm like, Blackwell, he's young, he's exciting. But Stroman has shown you that he is a consistent ball player. He's a good ball player. Put him out there. So if Blackwell's out there, I'm excited. I want to see the young man play. And
Mhm.
obviously, he's ahead of Greg Stroman, hopefully for a reason. But it could be that he's just younger, and that's why he is, in fact, in front of Greg Stroman. But Stroman, not a bad player. I would continue to go with the quote unquote hot hand, even though he wasn't
Yeah.
insane. He was still a very good contributor. I'm looking at his grade 76.3 coverage grade, 74.6 run defense grade. That's very good
Jeez.
as a slot corner. And
It
also,
really is.
they had Terrell Smith kind of sub in and out sometimes too. I just think that Stroman looked very good. And also, looking at the Bears as a team, this is what gets me so excited for Eberflus. And yes, it's just PFF grades and they're not the end all be all. But to me, this kind of echoes how the defense feels like it's playing, but they're just letting things happen in front of them. And they need to be coached better than anything else. Brisker, 28th overall safety. Jackson, 16th overall safety. Jalen Johnson, 22nd overall corner. And
Mhm.
obviously, we mentioned Stevenson and Stroman. Tremaine Edmonds, 44th overall linebacker. Edwards, 51st overall linebacker. And Robinson, 49th overall defensive end. So they're getting some good play out of these players, according to PFF. And when you watch the tape, I was rewatching it. I liked what the linebackers were doing. I liked what the safeties were
Yeah,
doing when they
true.
were out there. So with the new Eberflus system, I really do hope that this goes from the worst defense in the league or one of the bottom ones to at least middle of the road. And I think
Mhm.
with Ngakwe getting his feet underneath them, this defensive line, the rookies coming into their own, hopefully if they can start getting pressure like they started doing last week, hopefully that makes this entire defense look a lot better and play a lot better. So there's
Yeah.
definitely some optimism, I would say, on this defense.
It would be awesome. I agree with the linebackers, and it would be awesome if we held the Chiefs to what they've been held to this entire year of hold them under 21 points. That would be insane. Like, it's two teams have already done that so far, but it's the Chiefs. And if you do that to the Chiefs, that makes your team just like that, get that confidence. So if I think, yeah, I think this team is, they're playing together. And I think that's what this linebacking crew especially needed, was just reps together, like those fast reps, not these preseason reps where you're kind of not really, you're not playing full, like you're not really ride or die with your teammates. So yeah, it's gonna be. I think this is kind of a fun game to be like, hey, if we hold 20 points against the Kansas City Chiefs, that would be pretty sick, and we could
We'll
potentially
see.
do it, Brad. We'll see.
I mean, I think that's the biggest question is we'll see. Jags defense a lot better than ours. Lions defense a lot better than ours. So I think
Hey, Lions defense is not, they let up a lot of points, and they do have guys, but they let up a lot of points. So uh we'll see. We let up a lot of
true.
yards, and we've let up the second most points in the NFL. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see if we turn this, if it's going to be a flip a switch, or if it's going to be kind of that gradual,
37 to the
switch.
Seahawks. So obviously a lot more with that. So let's go over to our X factors for this defensive side of the ball. So who is your X factor for this defensive side of the ball that's can really turn the tide for this?
Yeah, it's so weird that we saw Dominic Robinson, one of the better grades on this defense. We've
I
been
know,
still
right?
crapping on him. Um,
Yeah,
man,
it's his. I just looked at it. It's his. They like his run defense grade. He's the
he probably
26th
sets the
highest.
edge. He probably sets the edge so well.
Yeah, but then he's 83rd out of 102 for pass rush. It's
Yeah,
like,
honestly, with I think Tremaine Edmonds is kind of my X factor, just because
hmm,
Travis Kelce. I
yeah,
think
good call.
it's proven that they don't have reliable receivers. There's that Watson guy is kind of the only reliable guy that Patrick Mahomes has been kind of finding. But even years past, like, he doesn't like his receivers usually. So if we can get that big body, athletic, like, guy follow Travis Kelce and eliminate him from the game, um, that would be awesome. Or even get a pick against him, show that Taylor Swift loving smooching tight end.
Yeah.
I personally, I hate Travis Kelce. I don't know, like, your thoughts on him. I do not like him. So it'd be awesome to
Oh
see
man.
him get laid out, like there's always that highlight of Tremaine Edmonds, laying out there's that flat that was the Dolphins, I think, through, and then Tremaine Edmonds lays the guy out. I hope that happens to Travis Kelce, and Tremaine Edmonds has that. I think he's gonna be a good matchup against this Travis Kelce and shut him down.
That's a good one. And Kelsey, I have no problem with him. I actually really like the New Heights podcast. I will just watch the shorts all day. It's so entertaining to me because I just think that they're so laid back. I think it's really Jason Kelsey that I really like, because
I
Jason
love Jason.
Kelsey
Yeah,
just seems like such the most down to earth dude, just chill. And
yeah.
I like they're very humble with the amount of success that they do have. They're very,
Mhm.
very humble. But I'll talk about my X factor, Yannick Ngakoue. We talked about it with some of his missed tackles. He needs to be the person that is bringing the pressure. He has been the guy that's been bringing pressure. Actually, I should not forget the name of the great Andrew Billings, who is leading
Yeah.
the team in pressures this year at the nose
Insane.
tackle position. But I don't expect him to have a good game because he's going against arguably the best interior offensive line in the league. Like, this is an
Yeah.
insanely good, like we said, Tooney and everybody, this is a very good interior offensive line. We have to win on the edges and really get to them. Ngakoue, to me, is the guy to be looking out for. He needs to be the one that is sacking the quarterback, putting some heat on Patrick Mahomes. Also, Mahomes, a little bit harder to tackle than Baker Mayfield. So hopefully he can wrap him up, bring him down, and really dominate this week and really just showcase, because this was listed as the game of the week. They advertised it last week. I'm like, seriously? This is the game of the week? So you got to stop him, because also this is the Matt Nagy led offense. So
It is.
really, really, really
It's so funny. It's funny that you mentioned that. Just real quick with the Matt Nagy offense, it's like maybe that's why this offense is doing so bad. It's like without Eric Bieniemy and then Matt Nagy now offensive coordinator. It's like, ooh,
Yeah,
they are taking a big shot down.
future Bears head coach Eric Bieniemy, we
Oh
might
yeah,
add. Like
that'd be
he's
awesome.
he's doing pretty good at Washington, and that's his offense. So
Yeah, they're averaging like 27.5 points per game, and normally they would be kind of sticking with us with like 16 or like
yeah,
18 or something.
my biggest question, and I know that this is different, and we're already almost at an hour already, but I'm still curious about what ego does he have, or what's his personality that's making him not get hired for these jobs? Because he has the offense. He's shown what he can do. Like, what's
Yeah.
he doing? What, like, what type of a comment is he making where they go, do I really want this guy to be leading my team? So, but anyways, PayPal, this one will be fast because we're almost at an hour. But we've gone through the offense for a half an hour. We've gone through the defense for a half hour. But it is time for the special teams review. PayPal, do you have anything for the special teams review at all?
Not
I've
really.
won.
I think Trent Taylor, it'd be cool if he just like caught a punt. I'm fine with what he's doing. At least he's not having turnovers, but just catch one. Um, it's
Better
weird
than
also
Ted
that
Ginn. Yeah.
yeah, it's weird that he's been playing offense. I thought that was kind of concerning, honestly, because do we not have
Yeah.
confidence in Valus Jones? But that's more of an offensive thing. But still, like, why is Trent Taylor even on offense? I thought he's exclusively special teams. Um, but yeah, Cairo Santos, absolute beast. He nailed that 50+ yarder
Yeah.
last week. That was kind of his weakness for those couple games was like he didn't have that kick power. He didn't have that leg strength. So Cairo Santos, A+, keep it up, dude. You
Yeah.
rock.
The only storyline that I really have for this is Valus Jones, actually. Because Valus Jones was active last game, but was obviously inactive in week one. Are they going to do the same thing? Because I thought that he played very well as the gunner. He's usually the
Yeah.
first person that's down there. But the reason why it's so interesting is because, and why Valus is actually super important, because he has been a very good gunner. If he could just hold on to a freaking punt, you wouldn't need Trent Taylor for this stuff. But the big thing is Equanimous St. Brown. We joke about the blocking, but we see the lack of blocking with these wide receivers on some of these screens. So maybe with part of the discussion with Getsy, I kind of want to see, is EQ going to be the one that's active and not Valus, just
Yeah.
because of helping the offense run a little bit smoother? Maybe it's something that even Field says. So something for us to look out for. But who has the edge? Let's just kind of combine. We can fly through some of these. So PayPal, I'll start with this first one. The Chiefs run defense versus the Bears running offense. I think that they run it more with Justin Fields. I think that even though that Braxton Jones is out, they're going to be trying to run the football and get back to Bears football the way it was last year with the offense. I'm giving it to the Bears offense. PayPal,
Love
you
it.
have the Bears passing offense versus the Chiefs passing defense. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I'm taking the Bears passing offense. That's crazy to say, but I really think they're gonna incorporate, DJ Moore. I know their secondary is actually really good. The Chiefs, it's been looking good. I mean, it's all young guys. They're fast, they're hungry, all that. But hey, I have confidence in Justin Fields. I have confidence in DJ Moore, and honestly, give the ball to Cole Kmet. I think he's gonna be a vital target.
Awesome. Then I have the Bears run defense versus the Chiefs running offense. Now, even though that to me, the Chiefs don't have a potent running offense, the Bears let up one of the worst running offenses. They were able to go crazy on them. I'm giving it to the Chiefs running offense until they stop the run. I will always give it to whoever the other person is, because the Buccaneers can't run the football, but they could on us. So I think that this goes without saying, though, but Patrick Mahomes versus the Bears pass defense.
Yeah, I think you got to give it to Patrick Mahomes. Sadly enough, I think our pass defense has just been giving a lot too many yards. I think that's kind of we've been playing too safe. I know we'll kind of prevent him from playing that, but it's kind of closer just because it's like the receivers aren't looking that good, but it's Patrick Mahomes, so gotta
There
say
we
that.
go. So we chose both offenses on both sides of the ball. So for our over-unders, let's talk about that. Over-unders, it's set at 48. Are you going over or under that total, PayPal?
Ooh, I'm hitting over all the time for the Bears. I think
Okay.
they've hit so many consecutive overs. You gotta do over. Like I think it's either gonna be Bears get blown out and the Chiefs
Yeah.
score a bunch of points, or this offense clicks. I think those are the two
Yeah.
options. And the Bears defense starts looking good because they're like, hey, our offense is clicking. Now there's this confidence, there's this energy from this execution, that they've been saying. So I think it's easy over.
Okay, then I have one that I actually really like. Cole Kmet, 28 and a half receiving yards. I'm smashing the over on that. Might
Oh
even take it
yeah.
up myself because he's been doing a lot more than that. I'm also going to give myself the easy ones for this one. But PayPal, Roshan Johnson, 23 and a half rushing yards. What say you?
Ooh, I'm saying, yeah, he's been getting a handful of carries. I mean, heck, if he gets 5 carries, I think he's getting that. He's hitting that number. I mean, he's ran it really well and efficient. Um, so I'm giving that over.
Perfect. And then I'm going to give myself another easy one. DJ Moore, over 41 and a half receiving yards.
Oh my gosh.
Right? I might literally take that right now. I'm like 41 and a half.
What the
Yeah, I know that they have some good corners at Kansas City, but I still like it's DJ Moore. I think that they're going to try to get him involved. They're going to be like we said, he should be still the focal point of this offense from a receiving game. Look at him and then look at anyone else afterwards, right? Make him the first read. I'm smashing the over on that. But let's get into the game predictions. So PayPal, you and I are both 0-2 with the coin flip being 2-0. The coin flip remains undefeated. Also, a friend of mine at work, he did say he listens to the show and he said, "Hey, you know that the simulation's also been right as well." For those that remember when we did our
Yeah.
terrible simulation that had the Bears going 0-17, it's still right. So the simulation is also 2-0. Coin flips 2-0. We're both 0-2. PayPal and everyone else that's watching, let us know what's the score and one bold take that's going to happen. Are you jumping back on the bandwagon,
Brad,
PayPal?
it's a reoccurring cycle every week of like we feel depressed about the Bears for like 3 or 4 days. And then it's just, oh, right back on the bandwagon. Here we go. Like, we're going to win. I'm hopping right back on.
Oh
I'm
my
saying the
God.
Bears. I think Ron has a good score. I'm going to take it, actually.
Oh
It
my
might be
God.
crazy. Actually,
It is crazy.
That one is a little too crazy for me. Okay. Yeah, his was 35-17. I'm going to say, we're going to dial back just a notch. I'm going to say 31-20. Bears getting a
Jesus,
great win
man.
in Arrowhead. That's insane, but it's
That
going to
is
be
insane.
done. It's
All right.
yeah, it's an upset. The Bears are going to be coming out wilding out there.
I know how you feel though, because it is one of the, like, for anybody that's listening, when you talk Bears for like an hour, it hypes you up. It either
does.
hypes you up or bums you out beyond belief, because you're just kind of like last episode we were like, all right, see ya, everybody.
Yeah.
and
Like,
and
what
we
are
were
these?
done.
Yeah, we couldn't think of positives. Now it's like, all right, now we're back on this train. Here we go.
PayPal, and this is when I take the lead because the
Yeah.
Bears, I still feel like they should look better because of all the adversity that just went on. I think it's all good things. Like, really, I do believe that a lot of this stuff can be taken in a good manner if you have a good locker room, a good team. If they look even worse, my God, we're going 0-17, and the the thing's gonna be correct, right? I think that the Bears end up losing, and I'm actually going to go the reverse of your score just because I think it'd be kind of funny. I'm going to go 20-31. Bears end up losing. And my bold take is going to be Yannick Ngakoue 2 sacks. I think that he rebounds, gets 2 sacks. Did you give a bold take?
Yeah, I didn't do a bold take. I mean, with my score, I really want to say 2 things. I really think Javon Dexter, he's been looking, I don't know, he's been getting snaps. He's been kind of in opportunities to get plays. So I think he's going to get his first sack.
Okay.
And then I really think, I mean, with how many points I said, 31, DJ Moore, 2 touchdowns.
You're going to need a lot of points there.
Yep.
Hey, we'll go with that, but I'll tell you this. No matter what we say does not even matter because we know the real expert in the picks. Let me just actually find where this thing is.
This is
coin flip.
If it's heads.
Because if it's heads, so I still haven't flipped it yet. If it's heads, I might even take the Bears money line if this is heads because coin flip has not been wrong. Coin flip had the best record last year. This app is really good at predicting games. So let's flip it. So let's see. It's flipping. Tails.
Oh,
So the Kansas City Chiefs, I told you, coin flip does not lie. It's
Dang.
going tails. It's saying the Bears will drop its 3rd in a row. Sorry, PayPal. You are going to go 0-3.
So sorry, Chicago Bears fans.
Yeah.
Dang.
We're going to lose the
We
game.
lost.
The coin has spoken. So if you win, PayPal, I hope you know, if you win this, the biggest upset is not going to be Bears over Chiefs. It's going to be you over coin flip. Over the coin flip app. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be so much fun to watch it. And I'm actually really excited, but this is just the life of a Bears fan. You get excited. And then on Monday, we are just depressed. And then you're like, screw it. This is another week.
Back on it.
Yeah, it's that meme of when you're just painting your clown face again. You're like, all right, screw it. I'm in.
Back to work.
Legit seeing Justin Fields hug Luke Getsy. I was like, you what? I'm back. Bear down. Bear down. Let's go, man. So we'll see what they end up doing. But make sure to stay tuned. Make sure to like and subscribe out there on YouTube as we're on our quest for 4,000 subscribers, almost to that 2,000 mark. And remember, our joke is that every passing yard is a sub, and it's actually getting pretty correct. Also, make sure to rate the show 5 stars everywhere you get your podcasts, especially Apple Podcasts, because then you can be in the entry for a Darnell Wright jersey. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I can't wait for Sunday. And with that, Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got